Welcome to a land where history whispers in the wind and the landscapes seem to come straight from a fairy tale. Picture misty mountains, towering like giants, ancient castles standing guard over timeless valleys, and legends woven into the very fabric of the earth. This is Scotland, where every corner tells a story, and every view takes your breath away. From the dramatic heights of the Highlands to the still, mystical waters of the Lochs, Scotland isn't just a destination, it's an experience that feels otherworldly. Join me as we explore the wonders of this enchanting country. In Scotland, history isn't confined to textbooks, it's woven into the very fabric of the land. The sound of bagpipes drifting through the air, the sight of a Highland stag silhouetted against a dramatic sunset, the ancient stones of Edinburgh Castle perched high above the city everywhere you turn, Scotland's spirit is alive and undeniable. This country has inspired poets, painters and explorers for centuries, and once you set foot on its soil, it's easy to see why. Scotland is more than just a destination, it's a feeling, a call to adventure, a place that grabs hold of your imagination and doesn't let go. Prepare to be spellbound as we uncover the wonders of Scotland, a land where the extraordinary is just part of everyday life. Scotland is a land of contrasts, ancient yet modern, remote yet globally influential, wild yet deeply cultural. Positioned in the northern part of the United Kingdom, it spans from the bustling cities of the lowlands to the windswept wilderness of the Highlands and the countless islands that fringe its coasts. While Scotland shares its political landscape with England, Wales and Northern Ireland, it fiercely maintains its own identity with an independent legal system, a distinct approach to education, and its own Church of Scotland, separate from the Church of England. This sense of autonomy and pride in their heritage is deeply embedded in the Scottish character, a reflection of centuries of historical struggles and cultural resilience. One of the most fascinating facts about Scotland is its geography. The country is home to an astonishing 790 islands, scattered like jewels off its rugged mainland. These islands, which include famous names like the Hebrides, Orkney, and Shetland, are as varied as they are numerous. Some are lush and fertile, while others are barren and remote, home to only the hardiest of souls. Many of these islands remain largely uninhabited, offering a glimpse into a world where nature reigns supreme, with wild landscapes untouched by the hand of man. The islands also carry a deep connection to Scotland's ancient history, with some of the oldest human settlements in Europe, like Skye Brae in Orkney, dating back over 5,000 years. These islands are living museums, where prehistoric standing stones rise from the earth, silent witnesses to millennia of history. But Scotland isn't just about remote landscapes, it's about the people who inhabit them. Scots are known for their fiery spirit, and this may well be linked to the fact that the country has the highest proportion of redheads in the world. An incredible 13% of the population carries the gene responsible for red hair, and around 6% of Scots are redheaded, a far higher percentage than any other nation. This unique feature, often linked with the Celts, has become a part of the country's identity, giving it an extra dash of individuality. When people think of Scotland, they often picture bagpipes, tartan and kilts. These symbols are deeply woven into the fabric of Scottish culture, but there's much more to their story. For instance, the kilt, probably the most recognized piece of traditional Scottish attire, was actually banned at one point in history. Following the failed Jacobite rebellion in 1745, the British government passed the Dress Act of 1746, which made wearing Highland dress illegal in an effort to suppress Scottish culture and prevent further uprisings. For nearly 40 years, Scots were forbidden from wearing kilts, until the law was repealed in 1782. Today, the kilt is worn proudly at weddings, national celebrations, and Highland games, standing as a symbol of defiance and cultural pride. The same can be said of the bagpipes, whose distinctive sound can be heard echoing through the glens. Though bagpipes are often associated with Scottish culture, their origins are debated, with some historians suggesting they were introduced to Scotland by the Romans or brought back by soldiers from the Crusades. Whatever their origin, they are now an unmistakable part of the Scottish identity. While traditional culture is an important part of Scotland's legacy, the country has made enormous contributions to the modern world, particularly in the fields of science, philosophy, and education. Scotland's educational institutions are world-renowned, with 4 ancient universities, St Andrews, Glasgow, Aberdeen, and Edinburgh, dating back to the 15th and 16th centuries. These universities were the birthplace of the Scottish Enlightenment, a period in the 18th century that produced some of the most important thinkers in Western history. Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, wrote The Wealth of Nations in Edinburgh, and David Hume, one of the greatest philosophers of his time, revolutionized our understanding of human nature and reason. But it doesn't stop there. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, was born in Edinburgh, and James Watt, whose improvements to the steam engine helped drive the Industrial Revolution, hailed from Greenock. Scotland is not just a land of intellect, but also of invention. The television, penicillin, and even the bicycle all have Scottish origins. The country has a knack for innovation, and its people have been at the forefront of major technological advancements that have shaped the modern world. Despite being relatively small in size, Scotland's global impact has been enormous. In addition to its influence on science and culture, Scotland also plays an important role in global conservation efforts. The country is home to some of the largest expanses of wild natural land left in Europe, and its forests, moorlands and mountains are rich with wildlife. The famous Scottish wildcat, though rare, is one of the last remaining native wildcats in Europe, while the reintroduction of species like the beaver has helped restore ecosystems. Scotland's commitment to preserving its natural heritage is reflected in its many national parks, including the Cairngorms, Loch Lomond, and the Trossachs, where conservation efforts are underway to protect endangered species and fragile habitats. As if all this weren't enough, Scotland also boasts one of the most iconic exports in the world: whisky. Often referred to as Scotland's water of life, Scotch whisky is famous across the globe for its distinct flavour and quality. Distilleries can be found in nearly every corner of the country, from the peaty whiskies of Islay to the smooth, fruity malts of Speyside. Whisky production in Scotland dates back to at least the 15th century, and today it remains an integral part of the economy, culture, and heritage of the nation. Each distillery tells its own story, and whisky tasting tours have become a popular way for visitors to experience this liquid embodiment of Scotland's landscape and traditions. With its awe-inspiring landscapes, rich history, and immense contributions to the world, Scotland is much more than just a small country on the northern fringe of Europe. It is a land where ancient traditions and modern innovation coexist, where the past is always present, and where the spirit of the people is as enduring as the mountains and lochs that shape the land. These quick facts merely scratch the surface of a country that is as complex and beautiful as it is bold and proud. Scotland's landscapes are not just scenes to behold, they are experiences that resonate deeply within, each one revealing a new chapter in the country's epic story. From the towering mountains to the quiet lochs, the land feels ancient, alive, and infinitely wild. These landscapes have shaped the people, the culture, and the very soul of the nation. Let's take a journey through Scotland's natural wonders and immerse ourselves in the breathtaking beauty that lies beyond every bend in the road. The Scottish Highlands are a place where time seems to slow, where the air is thick with history and legend. Imagine a vast expanse of rolling mountains, their rugged peaks piercing the sky. These are not just any mountains, they are the Highlands, a place revered for its dramatic beauty and haunting stillness. In the Highlands, you can feel the weight of centuries in the wind that sweeps across the heather-clad hills. Each mountain here has a name, a story, and perhaps even a ghost that roams its slopes. The most famous of them all is Ben Nevis, the tallest mountain in the British Isles. Standing at 1,345 meters, it looms over the town of Fort William like a silent guardian. To scale Ben Nevis is not just a test of endurance, but a pilgrimage, a journey through mist and stone, where every step brings you closer to the clouds. But even for those who prefer to keep their feet on the ground, the views from below are enough to stir the soul. The Highlands offer a raw, untamed beauty that has inspired poets, painters and dreamers for generations. It's easy to see why the Highlands are often described as mystical. The land feels untouched by the modern world, a place where you can lose yourself in the stillness. It's no wonder that the Highlands have been the backdrop for countless myths and legends. In these hills, you can almost hear the echoes of ancient battles and the footsteps of warriors long gone. It is a landscape where past and present merge, where the natural world whispers secrets to those who listen. Scotland's lochs are much more than bodies of water. They are shimmering mirrors, reflecting both the sky above and the myths that swim beneath their surface. With over 30,000 freshwater lochs scattered across the country, they are as much a part of the landscape as the mountains themselves. But none are more famous or more mysterious than Loch Ness. Loch Ness is a place where reality and legend intertwine. At 23 miles long and more than 700 feet deep, it holds more water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined. But its depth is not just physical. Loch Ness holds within it a mystery that has captivated imaginations for centuries. The legend of the Loch Ness monster, Nessie, as she is affectionately known, has been spotted, or so it is claimed, by countless people over the years. Whether you believe in her or not, there's something undeniably magical about standing on the shore of this vast, dark loch, peering into the water and wondering what lies beneath. While Loch Ness may steal the headlines, Loch Lomond is the heart of Scotland's loch country. The largest loch by surface area, Loch Lomond is a tranquil paradise. Its waters stretch out like a serene blanket, dotted with islands and surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills. The song "The Bonny Banks o' Loch Lomond" captures its timeless beauty, but no words or melody can fully convey the feeling of standing at its shores, watching the mist rise over the water at dawn. It's a peacefulness that seeps into your bones, a reminder of nature's quiet power. Beyond these famous lochs, countless others beckon the traveller to stop and gaze. Loch Moray, with its ancient Caledonian pines, or Loch Tay, framed by snow-capped mountains in winter. Each loch tells its own story, each one a chapter in Scotland's wild and beautiful saga. If there is a place in Scotland that feels like it belongs in another world, it is the Isle of Skye. Skye is a landscape of contrasts, harsh and rugged, yet filled with a delicate, almost fragile beauty. It is a place where the land meets the sea in dramatic fashion, where cliffs plunge into the wild Atlantic and jagged mountains rise from the earth like ancient giants. The island's Gaelic name, Isle na Kio, translates to Island of Mist, and it's easy to see why. The air here seems to always carry a veil of mist, giving Skye a dreamlike, ethereal quality. Perhaps the most iconic feature of Skye is the quarrying, a landslip that has created one of the most spectacular landscapes in all of Scotland. As you walk along its paths, you'll feel as if you've stepped into a fantasy novel. The land twists and turns in strange, otherworldly shapes, and the views stretch for miles over land and sea. Skye's beauty is harsh, but it's this very harshness that makes it so unforgettable. And then there are the fairy pools, crystal clear, ice-cold pools of water that cascade down from the Killin Mountains. It is said that fairies once bathed in these pools, and standing there, surrounded by Skye's raw natural beauty, it's easy to believe in such things. The water sparkles in the sunlight, and the air is filled with the sound of waterfalls. It is a place that feels untouched by time, a place where the natural world holds sway. The Isle of Skye is not just a landscape, it is an experience. It is a place that calls out to the adventurer, the dreamer, the poet. To visit Skye is to feel the pull of the wild, to surrender yourself to nature's power and beauty. If the Highlands are the rugged heart of Scotland, then the Cairngorms National Park is its untamed wilderness. Covering 4,528 square kilometers, it is the largest national park in the UK, a place where vast forests, towering mountains, and ancient moorlands stretch as far as the eye can see. This is a landscape that demands respect, a place where nature rules and where humans are mere visitors. The Cairngorm Mountains, which give the park its name, are some of the oldest in the world. Their weathered peaks stand like sentinels over the land, their slopes covered in heather and moss. In winter, they are blanketed in snow, turning the landscape into a winter wonderland. But even in the depths of winter, the Cairngorms are alive with activity. This is a place where reindeer roam, where golden eagles soar, and where red deer can be spotted grazing in the glens. For those who seek adventure, the Cairngorms offer a playground like no other. Hiking, climbing, skiing, and mountain biking are just a few of the activities that await those brave enough to venture into this wild land. But for those who prefer to simply soak in the beauty, the park offers plenty of quiet corners, places where you can sit and watch the world go by, undisturbed by the rush of modern life. The Caledonian Forest, a remnant of the ancient woodland that once covered much of Scotland, is home to some of the country's most iconic wildlife. Red squirrels dart among the pine trees, while ospreys nest high in the branches. It is a landscape that feels ancient, a reminder of a time when the natural world was vast and untamed. Scotland's landscapes are not just places to visit, they are places to feel, to experience, to let sink into your soul. Each mountain, each loch, each windswept island tells a story of ancient gods, of legendary battles, of a land that refuses to be tamed. To stand in the Highlands, to gaze into the depths of Loch Ness, to feel the wind on Skye, is to connect with something larger than yourself. It is to feel the pull of nature, to understand why Scotland's landscapes have inspired generations of poets, artists, and adventurers. And once you've felt that pull, it never quite leaves you. Scotland's history is not just a collection of stories passed down through generations, it is embedded in every stone, every hill, and every ancient building that still stands today. The nation's past is palpable, alive, and fiercely proud. It is a land where history refuses to be forgotten, where legends and truths intermingle, creating a tapestry of events that shaped not only Scotland, but the entire world. Let's take a journey back through time and explore some of Scotland's most breathtaking historical wonders, each with its own tale of glory, tragedy, and resilience. Edinburgh Castle, the crown jewel of Scotland. Perched dramatically on a dormant volcanic rock, Edinburgh Castle dominates the skyline of Scotland's capital city. Its strategic location has made it one of the most coveted strongholds in the country's history. Over the centuries, it has stood sentinel over Edinburgh, playing a vital role in the nation's most turbulent chapters. From hosting royal ceremonies to withstanding fierce battles, Edinburgh Castle is more than just a historical landmark, it is a living symbol of Scotland's resilience and determination. The castle's history stretches back over a millennium, with its first recorded mention dating back to the 12th century, though the rock itself has been a place of settlement for much longer. As you approach its grand gates, you feel the weight of history pressing upon you. Inside, the Stone of Destiny, a symbol of Scotland's monarchy, still sits in regal splendour. This ancient stone was used for centuries in the coronations of Scottish kings and later stolen by the English in 1296, only to be returned in the 20th century. Such artifacts imbue the castle with a sense of continuity, a direct link between modern Scotland and its medieval past. Over the centuries, Edinburgh Castle has seen countless sieges, some of the most notable during the Wars of Scottish Independence. It has housed Scottish royalty, including the infamous Mary, Queen of Scots, and today stands as a majestic fortress, drawing millions of visitors who come to feel its storied past. As you stand upon the battlements, gazing out over the city below, you can almost hear the echo of ancient battles, the clashing of swords, and the triumph of a nation determined to preserve its identity. Just a short journey from Edinburgh lies another of Scotland's great strongholds, Stirling Castle. Set upon a rocky crag, Stirling Castle has long been a key to controlling Scotland, acting as the gateway between the Highlands and the Lowlands. Its imposing presence and strategic location have made it the site of many pivotal moments in Scottish history, none more significant than the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. This battle, led by the legendary Robert the Bruce, was a defining moment in Scotland's fight for independence from English rule. Against overwhelming odds, Bruce's army defeated the forces of Edward II in a bloody and decisive victory. Bannockburn became a symbol of Scottish tenacity, where sheer determination overcame the might of an empire. Today, visitors can walk the very ground where this iconic battle took place, immersing themselves in the history of a country that refused to be conquered. Stirling Castle itself has witnessed centuries of royal intrigue and military conflict. It served as the royal residence for many Scottish kings and queens, including James V and his daughter, Mary, Queen of Scots, who was crowned within its walls. The castle's grandeur, with its stunning Great Hall and ornate Chapel Royal, reflects the wealth and power of the Scottish monarchy during the Renaissance. But behind the beauty lies a fortress built for war, with thick walls and commanding views that have withstood sieges throughout history. As you walk through its halls, you can't help but feel the pulse of history beating through the stone, a reminder that Stirling was once at the very heart of Scotland's fight for freedom. Travelling even further back in time, we arrive at Skye Brae, a prehistoric village on the remote Orkney Islands. Skye Brae is not just a glimpse into Scotland's ancient past, it's a window into a world that predates even the pyramids of Egypt. This astonishingly well-preserved village, uncovered by a storm in 1850, dates back over 5,000 years and is one of the most significant Neolithic sites in Europe. Walking through the remains of Skye Brae, you can still see the stone-built houses, the hearths where families once gathered, and the stone furniture that once filled these ancient homes. It's easy to imagine life in this windswept corner of the world so many millennia ago. The layout of the village, with its interconnected passageways, suggests a tight-knit community, while the advanced craftsmanship of the stone structures speaks to the ingenuity of its inhabitants. The mysteries of Skye Brae continue to captivate archaeologists and visitors alike. How did these people live? What were their rituals, their beliefs? Why was the village suddenly abandoned? These unanswered questions add to the magic of the place, making it feel as though the spirits of its ancient residents still linger in the Orkney mist. As you stand in the middle of this ancient settlement, surrounded by the relentless Atlantic wind, you can't help but feel a profound connection to the distant past, to a time when the world was much simpler, yet no less fascinating. For those who seek history infused with mystery, look no further than Rosslyn Chapel. Located just outside Edinburgh, this Gothic chapel has captured the imagination of historians, conspiracy theorists, and storytellers for centuries. Built in the 15th century by William Sinclair, Rosslyn Chapel is a treasure trove of intricate stone carvings, each one steeped in symbolism and myth. The chapel's beauty is undeniable, but it is the legends surrounding it that have made it famous. From its supposed connection to the Knights Templar to the theories about the Holy Grail being hidden within its walls, Rosslyn Chapel has inspired countless tales of hidden treasures and secret societies. These legends were further popularized by Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. But even without the fictional embellishments, the chapel is a place of genuine mystery. Every inch of the chapel is adorned with carvings that tell stories both biblical and pagan. From towering castles to ancient villages, Scotland's history is etched into every corner of its landscape. The stories of battles won and lost, of kings and queens, of ancient peoples and their rituals, are all part of the rich tapestry that makes Scotland the extraordinary country it is today. Every historical wonder we've explored is not just a relic of the past, they are living monuments to the endurance, creativity, and indomitable spirit of the Scottish people. And even now, centuries later, these places continue to inspire awe, curiosity, and a deep respect for the nation's remarkable history. When you think of Scotland, you probably picture sweeping landscapes, majestic castles, and a rich history filled with epic battles and kings. But beyond the stone and soil, what truly makes Scotland remarkable is its vibrant culture, its language, its music, its food, and, most importantly, its people. Scottish culture is not just something preserved in museums or festivals, it's a living, breathing part of everyday life. From the bustling streets of Edinburgh to the remote isles of the Hebrides, traditions that have been passed down through centuries still thrive. Let's take a deep dive into the heart and soul of Scotland, its culture, its customs, and of course, its food. Scotland is a nation with not one, not two, but three official languages: English, Scots, and Gaelic. English, of course, is widely spoken and understood throughout the country. But what makes Scotland truly fascinating are the other two languages that still echo through its glens and islands. First, let's talk about Scots, a Germanic language closely related to English, but distinct in its own right. Scots is heard in everyday speech across much of Scotland, especially in the lowlands. It's a language rich in colour and humour, with its own unique expressions and vocabulary that can surprise even the most seasoned English speakers. Words like bairn for child, ken for no, and we for small are part of the everyday Scots dialect, and they lend a charming, musical quality to the way people speak. On the other hand, Gaelic, Scotland's ancient Celtic tongue, is a world apart. Once the dominant language of the Highlands and Islands, Gaelic has sadly diminished over the centuries. Today it is spoken by around 60,000 people, mainly in the Hebrides and pockets of the Highlands. However, its cultural importance far outweighs the number of speakers. Gaelic is the language of Scotland's oldest songs, poems, and legends. It's a language that carries with it the mystery and spirit of the country's ancient past. Listen to a traditional Gaelic song, and even if you don't understand the words, the emotion in the music will speak to your soul. Gaelic is still taught in schools and sung in traditional music, a testament to Scotland's commitment to keeping its cultural heritage alive. Now, let's talk about music, one of the most immediate and recognizable elements of Scottish culture. Picture this: the piercing, soulful sound of bagpipes filling the air as mist rolls over the Highlands. The bagpipe is perhaps Scotland's most iconic instrument, and its distinctive sound has become synonymous with the country's identity. Whether at a formal ceremony or a Highland gathering, the sound of the pipes evokes deep emotions: pride, nostalgia, even melancholy. But there's so much more to Scottish music than just the bagpipes. Traditional Scottish folk music is an incredibly rich genre, encompassing not only pipes but also fiddles, accordions, and the hauntingly beautiful harp or clarsach. The fiddle, in particular, plays a key role in Scottish folk, its quick, lively tunes setting the pace for gatherings and dances. Fiddle music is often accompanied by the accordion, an instrument that brings a bright, festive feel to Sealed's traditional Scottish social gatherings filled with music, dance, and community. Speaking of Sealed's, we can't forget the incredible tradition of Highland dancing. This is no ordinary dance, it's a blend of athleticism, grace, and historical significance. Unlike many other traditional dances, Highland dancing is performed solo, and it has its roots in warrior traditions, where soldiers would test their agility and strength through dance. The sword dance, for example, involves the dancer skillfully moving around and over two crossed swords without touching them, a feat of both precision and endurance. Then there's the Highland Fling, perhaps the most famous of these dances, performed on one spot with intricate footwork, its origins tied to victory celebrations after battle. These dances are often performed at Highland Games, where locals and visitors alike can enjoy the spirit of competition and festivity. At a Sealed, everyone is invited to dance, from children to the elderly, and the atmosphere is one of joyful chaos, with participants twirling and stepping to the lively music. The sense of community at a Sealed is palpable. Everyone is part of the celebration, and it's impossible not to get caught up in the fun. No exploration of Scottish culture would be complete without talking about its food. Now, let's address the dish that both intrigues and perplexes visitors: haggis. Yes, haggis, Scotland's national dish, is made from sheep's offal heart, liver, lungs, mixed with oats, suet, and spices, or traditionally encased in a sheep's stomach. While the ingredients might make some outsiders hesitate, Those who taste it often find it surprisingly delicious. It's a dish packed with earthy flavors and a rich, savory taste that reflects the resourcefulness of Scotland's rural past. Haggis is typically served with neeps, turnips and tatties potatoes, mashed and often drizzled with a whiskey sauce. Together, these ingredients create a hearty, satisfying meal that has become a beloved staple, especially during Burns Night celebrations. Burns Night, held annually on January 25th, celebrates Scotland's national poet, Robert Burns, who immortalized haggis in his famous poem addressed to a haggis. During the event, a traditional meal of haggis, neeps, and tatties is served, and Burns' poetry is recited in tribute to his legacy. It's a true celebration of Scottish culture, with music, dance, and of course, plenty of haggis. But Scottish cuisine isn't just about haggis. From the fresh seafood caught off the coasts to the game hunted in the Highlands, Scotland's culinary traditions are deeply tied to the land and sea. Cullen skink, a creamy soup made from smoked haddock, potatoes and onions, is a warming dish that showcases the bounty of Scotland's waters. And then there's the iconic Scotch pie, a small, savoury meat pie traditionally filled with mutton and often enjoyed at football matches or local bakeries. No conversation about Scottish culture would be complete without a mention of Scotland's most famous export whisky. Known as Scotland's water of life, whisky is more than just a drink. It's a reflection of the land, the people, and the craftsmanship that goes into making it. The art of whisky making has been passed down through generations, and today Scotland is home to over 120 distilleries, each producing its own unique flavour and style. There are several whisky-producing regions in Scotland, each with its own distinctive characteristics. Speyside, for example, is known for its smooth, fruity whiskies, while Islay is famous for its bold, peaty flavours. Then there's Highland whisky, which can vary widely but often has a full-bodied, rich taste. Whisky enthusiasts from all over the world make pilgrimages to Scotland to visit its distilleries, where they can learn about the centuries-old techniques used to craft this beloved spirit. Whisky is more than just a drink in Scotland, it's a tradition. Whether sipped by the fire on a cold evening or shared at a special celebration, whisky is a symbol of hospitality and warmth. It's a drink that encourages storytelling, fosters friendship, and connects people across generations. The sight of oak barrels aging in quiet distillery warehouses, the smell of malted barley, and the sound of whisky being poured into a glass, all these elements come together to create an experience that is uniquely Scottish. Scottish culture is as rich and varied as the land itself. From the melodic sounds of the Gaelic language to the stirring notes of the bagpipes, from the hearty taste of haggis to the smooth warmth of whisky, Scotland's traditions are woven into the daily lives of its people. These customs, passed down through the generations, keep Scotland's identity alive and vibrant. And whether you're dancing at a sealad, tasting your first sip of whisky, or hearing the ancient Gaelic songs echo through the hills, one thing is clear: Scotland is not just a place, it's an experience. Scotland isn't just a land of ancient castles, misty mountains, and age-old traditions. It's also home to vibrant, bustling cities that pulse with energy, creativity, and modern innovation. Each city offers its own unique blend of history and progress, where old-world charm meets contemporary dynamism. Let's take a closer look at some of Scotland's most iconic urban centres, where the past and present coexist in harmony. Scotland's capital, Edinburgh, is a city that immediately transports you into the pages of history, yet pulses with the life of a modern metropolis. Wander through the cobbled streets of the old town, and you're surrounded by medieval architecture, with the looming presence of Edinburgh Castle atop its volcanic rock. But just a short stroll away, the elegant squares and broad avenues of the Georgian New Town reveal a different side of the city's history, a testament to the Enlightenment period, when Edinburgh was at the forefront of intellectual and architectural advancements. But don't let the historic beauty fool you. Edinburgh is a city that thrives on creativity and culture, perhaps most famously demonstrated by the world-renowned Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Every August, the city transforms into a global stage, welcoming thousands of performers and artists from across the world to showcase their talents. From theatre and comedy to dance and street performances, the Fringe turns Edinburgh into a playground for the arts, attracting visitors in droves and making it the largest arts festival on the planet. The city's duality, anchored in its storied past yet alive with modern creativity, makes it an irresistible destination for anyone looking to experience the best of both worlds. Next, we journey west to Glasgow, a city once synonymous with heavy industry, particularly its shipbuilding legacy. Today, Glasgow has undergone a remarkable transformation, emerging as one of Europe's leading cultural hubs. Known for its warm, friendly people and gritty charm, Glasgow buzzes with creativity and an underground spirit that has given rise to one of the UK's most vibrant music scenes. Bands like Belle and Sebastian, Franz Ferdinand, and CHVRCHES all hail from this powerhouse of sound, and the city is alive with gigs, festivals and performances almost every night of the week. But Glasgow's cultural renaissance extends far beyond music. The city boasts cutting-edge art galleries like the Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum and the Gallery of Modern Art, both of which showcase an impressive array of local and international talent. Wander through Glasgow's streets, and you'll find an ever-growing collection of street art, giving the city a youthful, dynamic feel. And of course, for many Glaswegians, football is at the heart of life, with an intense rivalry between the city's two major clubs, Celtic and Rangers, stirring passions year-round. Glasgow's spirit is one of reinvention, proving that even a city built on industry can flourish as a beacon of modern culture and creativity. North, we find Aberdeen, known as the Granite City due to its striking, grey stone architecture that seems to shimmer in the northern sunlight. Aberdeen's impressive buildings, like Marischal College, are a reminder of the city's wealth, historically derived from its role in the oil industry. As a key player in the global energy market, Aberdeen continues to evolve, balancing its industrial heritage with a growing interest in sustainability and technology. Further south lies Dundee, a city that, in recent years, has earned a reputation as a rising star in the world of tech and design. Once an industrial centre famous for its jute production, Dundee has reinvented itself as a hub for innovation, particularly in video game development. Games like Grand Theft Auto were developed here, and the city's creative energy is palpable. At the heart of Dundee's cultural resurgence is the VA Museum, a stunning piece of modern architecture that houses exhibits celebrating design, fashion and art. The VA has firmly put Dundee on the map, marking the city as a destination for those seeking cutting-edge culture in a stunning riverside setting. Scotland's cities offer a perfect complement to its rural landscapes and historical sites. From Edinburgh's blend of the ancient and the avant-garde to Glasgow's cultural dynamism and Aberdeen and Dundee's architectural and technological innovation, modern Scotland is alive with diversity and progress. These cities are the beating heart of the nation, offering visitors a taste of the future while remaining deeply rooted in the traditions of the past. Scotland is a land of contrasts, where ancient history intertwines with modern creativity and where untamed wilderness meets bustling cities full of life. From the rugged peaks of the Highlands, mist-clad and mysterious, to the cobbled streets of Edinburgh that echo with stories of kings and scholars, Scotland offers a tapestry of experiences that captivate the mind and stir the soul. It's a place where every corner has a tale to tell, and every landscape invites you to pause, breathe, and take it all in. But the beauty of Scotland is more than skin deep. Its history, etched in stone and legend, is alive in the castles, battlefields, and standing stones that dot the landscape. It's a land where the past isn't confined to museums. It surrounds you in every ruin, every folklore whispered in the wind. And yet, Scotland is not just a land of history. Its cities like Glasgow and Dundee pulse with modernity and innovation, leading the way in art, design and technology while never losing touch with their heritage. And then there's the culture, the very heart of Scotland. The music of the bagpipes rising on the wind, the warmth of the people, and the rich flavors of haggis and whiskey that define its culinary traditions. Whether you're swaying to the rhythms of a sealed or sipping a dram of whiskey by a cozy fire, you'll feel a connection to something deeper, something ancient, yet ever-present. But what makes Scotland truly unforgettable is not just its landscapes or its history. It's the spirit of adventure that permeates every corner of the country. Scotland doesn't just ask you to look, it asks you to engage, to explore, to immerse yourself in its wild beauty and vibrant culture. Whether you're hiking through the vast, open spaces of the Cairngorms, navigating the winding roads of the Isle of Skye, or simply enjoying a sunset over Loch Lomond, Scotland will stir something within you, a sense of wonder and discovery that stays with you long after you've left. And remember, this is just the beginning. Scotland is a land that invites you back time and time again, with new places to uncover and deeper connections to forge. It's a place that captures your heart, where every return feels like coming home. So, as you finish this journey through the wonders of Scotland, know that the real adventure is out there, waiting for you to take that first step. As the final notes of the bagpipes fade into the background, the camera pulls back to reveal a panoramic view of the Highlands, bathed in the golden light of a setting sun. The sky turns from fiery orange to deep purple, casting long shadows over the mountains and lochs. With one last glimpse of the breathtaking landscape, the screen fades to black, leaving you with the lingering feeling that Scotland is a place like no other.